Welcome to the Industry Insight series that we are holding at JM Financial Center for Financial Research at IIM Udaipur. And we have today with us Mr. Jitendra Bhide, who is the Assistant Managing Director at Goa Bagayatdar. He has taken a road less traveled, and that would make this conversation very insightful. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Bhide.
Thank you.
So maybe we can start with just setting up the stage and thinking about how is a cooperative society different. What would be a matrix that you would look at in terms of impact or performance? Is it the same as what a general company would look at, which is profits, or is it something different?
First of all, thank you for hosting me over here. As far as your question goes, cooperative society as a structure is not new, at least as far as Indian context is concerned. So there are a lot of cooperative societies, and rather I would say much of the Indian economy is based on cooperative structure and cooperatives all over India. And recently at the union it has been converted into a ministry as well. So wherein we are hopeful of getting little more attention as far as development of these cooperatives are concerned. As you tried drawing the line of comparison between what a cooperative society does vis-a-vis what, for that matter, what corporate does. At the end of the day, yes, it is a business, and when we call it a business, it means that after having sufficient income to cover up your overheads, you have to be left with something. That left with something is to further that agenda and survive, because you may have some objectives, you may have some values or principles on which it is based, but you would be able to adhere to them, you would be able to propagate them only if you are there and survived for a longer period of time. So yes, there is a huge difference in a way that cooperative structure or a cooperative society is typically not formed so that it can make a profit. That doesn't makes it a loss making proposition. So it's like it's a society which would have something as a main agenda, which would be normally pro bono. Let me take an example of our own society. So we are basically a primary agricultural cooperative society, PACS as they call. We are also a primary agricultural and marketing society. So the main objective behind setup of this kind of a structure is to provide those services to that class of the people, say in this case farmers, who otherwise don't have that forte. Say for example, they are good at cultivating, they have the traditional knowledge of sowing and harvesting. However, they don't know, or probably they may not know how to market it, at what best price it could be sold to, from where to mobilize that demand, or probably what kind of value addition they probably need to do over it, so that they can have that extra bit of a income which they again can invest into that same agriculture and flourish further. So this is where the role of the cooperative society like us comes in, so that farmers are left with what they are good at, that is farming, sowing and harvesting, and the further part of the supply chain is being taken care by a cooperative society. Now as a cooperative society, since it has so many of those farmers associated with them, it becomes easier to reap the benefits of large scale, and in a way it becomes an organized activity wherein you can employ people specially who could look after these marketing functions and bring the best of the price available from the open market. However, having said all of that, I would like to reiterate the thing that making profit is not an option. You have to make profits, else you will be out of that supply chain very soon, and if you would be so, then how would you extend those benevolent things that you were set up for?
And so related to this, so we have seen that a lot of cooperative societies in India have faced a lot of problems in expanding. But Goa Bagayatdar is, in that sense, maybe an exception. It has been there for a very long time. And could you highlight a few things that the organization did differently to make this happen?
Yeah, it's a long history to decipher what must have been, what must the society must be doing right. But then if you would see, more of it is an organic growth. So there hasn't been anything as such in last 6 decades of the existence that something has been purposely or forcefully tried to be expanded upon. It's like naturally when few of the, I would give you an example, when in 1964 it was set up, the membership was 116 in the first year, and the profit that society made even that first year was rupees 800. Okay, if we take consideration the time value of money, that 800 is also not less. However, the membership was 116 and today the membership is, say for example, 10,000. Then why the membership has moved from 116 to 10,000 is only because people, fellow farmers, have seen the benefits that those who have taken the membership has got, and they understood or they realized themselves that this is the best way to go about it. So they kept on joining the movement, I would say, and supporting the activities of the society, cooperating with the society as well, and that led to that growth. But in our case, if you would ask me what is that has been done different, then it's a diversification, definitely. Means primary objective of the society was completely based on agriculture, horticulture. It was all about procuring the areca nut, cashew nut and all other horticultural produce from its members and selling it at certain margin and sustain it that way. However, somewhere down the line, society must have thought, why not utilize and further, leverage the available resources with the society, plus create a base upon which these same very activities could flourish. So somewhere in the year 1985, this seed of this getting into a retail business was germinated, and it picked up the pace by 1989. And the first supermarket, I would say at that time it should be called as self-help grocery store, was something which was started, and ever since it started it has not seen any bad day at all. The reason being same, that whatever was the values that society was built up with, naturally and seamlessly those same values and principles got transpired into this line of business as well, and society adopted the principle of providing it at the minimum possible rate to the customers. There was, in the other segment, it was about protecting the interest of the member. Here it became protecting the interest of the customer and try to provide at as minimum or reasonable price as possible. And arriving at this math was not difficult, because society works on the same principle of cost plus margin is equals to selling price. So you don't have to pull your hair over it. Whatever is your overheads to be covered about, though that much percentage plus something to sustain for the future, and then offer it for that particular price to the customer. And if you will see, that is already a much lesser than what open market offers it for, and that results in a kind of a price check mechanism to the other traders and other retailers as well. So society in a way also works in creating a harmony and an ecosystem wherein the interest of the customers is protected. So it was a seamless transition, and adoption of right things at the right time, I would say, has led to the success, and 6 decades of successful existence. I won't say survive. Society is basically thriving, and the future is enormous, to be honest.
Right. So, in that case, as you said, from 1964 to 85, there was one phase, and those values were also transmitted to the second segment. But then, what lies at heart is also that core fabric, which is the value system, which means the founders of the society must have been so passionate about taking forward this cooperative society that they inculcated this to every other person who was joining the society, to the members, what was the purpose, vis-a-vis other cooperative societies where perhaps this was not happening. So could you talk a bit about the structure of this society and how it is different from other such models, which is why probably this is working well as well.
Yeah, so cooperative societies are governed by Cooperative Societies Act, and for Goa it's a Goa Cooperative Societies Act 2001, and there are rules 2003. So these basically sets out the periphery boundary within which a cooperative society is expected to run, and largely enough we are running on those same legal and principal boundaries within which it should. So one of the thing is democratic operations or democratic formation. So it's like anybody can become a member who satisfies the eligibility criteria. Whoever satisfies the eligibility criteria becomes the member, and any member can contest the election. So the governing body of the cooperative society is basically an elected body. So a representative from amongst the contestants is elected by a group of members by voting, and they are being elected for the tenure of 5 years, and amongst them then it's elected a set of office bearers, to whom in our society we call a chairman and a vice chairman, who basically are responsible for the policy formulation and other things. The entire board meets every month to discuss on myriad matters of the strategic as well as operational level. Plus the same board has been divided into 5 different subcommittees, which takes care of human resource separately, other operations separately, procurement separately, then horticultural produce procurement and sale separately. So it's kind of functions which has already been divided, and there are subcommittees amongst the directors which has been formed. They also meet at least once in a month. So here if you would say, there are a set of rules which we need to follow, and since it's so democratic, after every 5 years the governing body changes. So the question that actually she brought up was very good, in a sense that how does this fabric of values get transferred from generations together. So I would call it because of a community. So in a way, people growing some similar kind of crop, like say in our case, say for example areca nut or cashew nut, they together form a community, and this society belongs to that community. This society is run by that community, and the benefits are reaped by this community itself. So this is something in a way that we can say like help out each other, and together we survive and thrive. So this is something which, because of such kind of a setup in itself, runs very well. And taking due credit to our own society, there are so many other societies which, in spite of having all these benefits, might not have survived. So we should give it to the, as she rightly pointed out, to the founders and the initial board of directors and some of the people who have ensured that on phase to phase basis that those values are not forgotten, and the theme upon which these activities must happen should happen without any compromise. So probably that is the mantra of the success when it comes to this organization, I would say.
So yeah, I have one quick question because before we close, which is that what if going forward, what are the challenges that you see for the cooperative society, or if there are some messages that you would want to give to others on how to thrive very quickly, if we could just summarize and wrap this up.
Yeah. So what I would say is holding on to the traditional ways of doing things is absolutely fine, but you cannot stay in an isolation. So when things around you are changing and changing at a pace, we must stay contemporary. So to bring in that contemporaneousness, what I would say is catching hold of the technology is something which is very, very important. So as you rightly said, over the period of years, the scale that the society has garnered for itself, if we really want to sustain that and grow even further, so here on we'll have to take it up from a technological perspective. So something like bringing all the functionalities onto a single integrated platform, designing customized software so that the day in day out operations could be tackled, ensuring that all important transactions, digital footprints are left behind, which could be analyzed further and future decisions could be taken more viably. So data driven ideology needs to be propagated, and I believe in coming time it's non-negotiable. Hold on to the traditional values, of course, because that is the foundation upon which this big organization with a rich history has been built, but we need to support it with due technological intervention so as to ensure even further that another 6 decades of sustenance would be guaranteed.
So thank you so much, Mr. Bhide, for the insights. It was really interesting to hear your thoughts on, how holding the value systems as well as bringing in technological interventions at the right point in time in an organization's overall evolution, be it a cooperative society or a corporate, is really, really important. I am sure this would be very interesting for the audience to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.